My mother's voice was steady over the phone. You have all that money now. It's only fair you help family. 3 weeks earlier, my husband died. My parents didn't come to the funeral. Too busy, they said. Work obligations. Couldn't get away. But now they had time. Now they had opinions. Now they had their hands out. My sister wanted a dream wedding. $150,000. Venue on the water. Orchids imported. The works. And I was the bank. They wanted the inheritance. They didn't want to say goodbye. I sat there, phone pressed to my ear, and felt something crack open inside me. Not sadness. Not anymore. Clarity. Because I had receipts. Every text. Every clause. Every lie. And they had no idea what was coming. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from, and what time is it for you right now? Hit that like button if you've ever been treated like the family ATM. You're going to want to hear this. Let me take you back 3 months, to the day my world collapsed. I grew up knowing my place. My sister was the star. I was the safety net. Her high school graduation, catered garden party, 100 guests, a car with a bow. Mine? Pizza in the kitchen. My aunt brought a cake. I stopped expecting equal a long time ago. My husband saw it before I did. We were engaged when he first met my parents. Afterward, he was quiet. Finally, he said, "They take because you give. One day you'll need to stop." I laughed it off. But he was right. We built a quiet life together. Steady jobs, a small house, no drama. Then he got sick. It happened fast. A cough that wouldn't quit. Then the ER. Then the words no one wants to hear. 2 weeks from diagnosis to ventilator. I called my parents from the hospital corridor. It went to voicemail. I texted my sister. She replied 6 hours later. Praying for you. He died on a Tuesday morning. I was holding his hand. The funeral was small. His family came. My coworkers. A few close friends. I saved 2 seats in the front row. They stayed empty. My mother texted the night before. We can't make it work. You understand? I didn't. But I was too numb to fight. After the service, I went home to a silent house and a stack of paperwork I didn't want to read. Sympathy cards, bills, a sealed envelope from his attorney. I kept everything. That's what I do. I save things. I had no idea how much I'd need them. I thought grief was the worst thing I'd face. I was wrong. 3 weeks after the funeral, my parents showed up. No call, no warning. I opened the door and there they were, all smiles. My sister was with them, glowing. We didn't want to bother you while you were sad, my mom said, breezing past me. But we have amazing news. My sister held up her hand. A diamond caught the light. I'm engaged. My parents were giddy, hugging her, taking photos. I stood in my own doorway, invisible. Then my sister pulled out her phone. Look at the venue. Isn't it perfect? She scrolled through photos. White columns, ocean view, chandeliers. My dad leaned in. She deserves this. My mom nodded. After everything she's been through. I almost asked what exactly my sister had been through. I didn't. Then my dad turned to me. So, the trust. What did he leave you? The air shifted. Because, he continued, you're set now. And your sister deserves her dream day. My mom jumped in. He loved family. He'd want this. I felt my throat close. I asked if they wanted to see photos from the service, I said quietly. My mom waved a hand. Let's not dwell on sad things. My sister's smile didn't falter. We need $150,000. The deposit's due Friday. Not a question, a demand. I said I needed time to think. My dad's smile disappeared. Time? We have a deposit due. This is family. They left 20 minutes later. I stood in the quiet and realized something. They hadn't asked how I was doing. Not once. The calls started that night. My mom, my dad, my sister. 17 missed calls in 2 days. Then the extended family got involved. My aunt left a voicemail about honoring family obligations. A cousin I hadn't spoken to in 5 years texted me. Heard you came into money. Must be nice. The subtext was clear. I was selfish, cold, changed. My sister sent a voice message crying. I never ask you for anything. Just this once. Please. I listened to it 3 times. Sitting on the bathroom floor at 2 a.m. And I started to believe them. Maybe I was being selfish. Maybe I owed them something. They raised me, fed me, kept a roof over my head. Wasn't that worth $150,000? I hadn't slept. I couldn't eat. My hands shook when I thought about writing the check. But I thought about it. That's how deep the programming goes. I was drowning. And then I opened the envelope. The one from my husband's attorney. The one I'd been too scared to touch. Inside was a letter. In his handwriting. And it changed everything. The letter was dated 2 months before he died, before the diagnosis. He'd written it just in case. If you're reading this, I'm gone. And I'm betting your parents finally called. I felt my chest crack open. He continued, "You have the biggest heart I've ever known. They know it, and I needed to protect you from that." Tucked behind the letter was a legal summary. The trust was irrevocable. That meant locked, permanent, untouchable. It had something called spendthrift protections. I looked it up. It meant creditors couldn't touch it, and neither could anyone pressuring me to give it away. But here's the part that mattered most. Any distribution over $10,000 required approval from a co-trustee. His brother, who knew exactly what my family was like. My husband had seen this coming. He'd built a wall so I wouldn't have to. I sat there holding the letter, and I finally let myself cry. Not from sadness, relief. I had proof. I had protection. I had armor. But I had no idea how much I'd need it. I called my dad the next morning. I explained the trust restrictions. Calmly, clearly. He exploded. "That's our inheritance too. He was family." "He wasn't your son," I said. Silence. Then my mother got on the line. Her voice was shaking, tears. "After all we've done for you. We raised you. We sacrificed. And this is how you repay us?" I tried to explain again. She hung up. An hour later, my sister posted on Instagram. A candle emoji. "Some people forget where they came from," with a broken heart. The comments poured in. Friends, cousins, people I hadn't seen in years. All sending her love. All implying someone had wronged her. That someone was me. Then my uncle called. The lawyer in the family. "I'm going to look into that trust. Make sure it's legal." I told him to go ahead. He didn't like that. 2 days later, a group text went out to the entire extended family. From my parents. "We're heartbroken. We tried to include everyone in this joyful time, but some people only care about themselves." They didn't name me. They didn't have to. The venue deposit deadline was 48 hours away. I thought the worst was over. Then my brother-in-law sent me a screenshot. And I realized it was so much worse. The screenshot was a text chain between my mother and my sister. My brother-in-law is my sister's fiancé's brother. He'd seen it on her phone one night and quietly saved it. He thought I should know. The messages were from 14 months ago, long before my husband got sick. My mom to my sister, "Don't worry about the budget. Once he's gone, she'll have plenty." My hands went numb. I scrolled. Another message, dated during my husband's hospital stay. "While he was on a ventilator. She won't say no when she's grieving. People feel guilty then." I read it again. And again. They weren't reacting to his death. They'd been planning for it. I cross-referenced the dates. They stopped visiting us right after my husband finalized the trust. Not because they were busy, because the payout was locked. They hadn't missed the funeral because of work. They missed it because they were waiting for me to be weak enough to hand over the money. I sat with that for a long time. Then I started looking into public records. And I found the rest of the story. County records are public. I pulled my parents' mortgage history. They'd refinanced twice in 5 years. The house was worth $390,000. They owed $487,000. Underwater. I checked further. I was still listed on an old joint credit card from college. One they'd never closed. $63,000 balance. Minimum payments only. Then I found the car loan. My sister's SUV, co-signed by my parents. She'd missed 4 payments. They were covering it. They were drowning. And they'd already told everyone the wedding was paid for. My sister's bridal registry had gone out to 200 people. The venue was listed as secured. They'd lied to their entire social circle. Told everyone they were flush, successful, generous. The wedding wasn't about my sister's happiness. It was proof they weren't failing. And I was supposed to be the silent bailout, the way I'd always been. I sat back and stared at the numbers. 487,000. 63,000. A wedding for 150. They didn't need my help. They needed me to clean up years of living a lie. Now I knew exactly what to do. I called my husband's estate attorney. Then I called the co-trustee. His brother, Marcus. We set up a 3-way call. I explained everything. The demand. The texts. The pressure. The attorney was calm. They have 0 legal standing. The trust is airtight. You have every right to cease communication. Marcus's voice was steady. My brother told me this might happen. He made me promise to protect you. I'm not breaking that promise. The attorney drafted 2 letters. A cease and desist to my parents regarding any further financial claims. And a boundary letter. formal, legal. Any continued harassment would result in a restraining order. Marcus offered to be there in person if I wanted a face-to-face meeting. I thought about it. Then I made a different decision. My husband loved reading. He tutored kids in literacy for free every Saturday. I was going to start a foundation in his name. $100,000 to seed it. Scholarships for kids who'd lost a parent. That's what the money was for. Not a wedding, not a bailout, a legacy. I set the meeting for Sunday. Neutral location. A private room at the public library. Witnesses on video. Everything documented. I wasn't going to argue. I wasn't going to justify. I was going to show them the truth. And then I was going to walk away. Sunday morning. 10 a.m. I arrived 15 minutes early. Set up the laptop. Tested the projector. Marcus and the attorney joined the video call on mute. Witnesses. My parents walked in at 10 on the dot. My sister and her fiancé were with them. My dad was carrying a binder, a wedding budget, itemized. He slid it across the table. We wanted to make this easy for you. I didn't touch it. I want to show you something first. I opened the laptop, pulled up the first slide, the trust summary. This is what my husband left me. It's called an irrevocable trust. My dad leaned forward. We can contest that. The attorney's voice came through the speaker. No, you can't. It's fully compliant and irrevocable means permanent. My mother's face went pale. I advanced to the next slide. My husband's letter. I read it out loud. You have the biggest heart I've ever known. They know it, and I needed to protect you from those who see love as leverage. My sister looked down. I clicked again. This is the co-trustee requirement. Any large distribution needs Marcus's approval. He's on this call. Marcus unmuted. I'm here, and I'm saying no. My mom's eyes filled with tears. How can you be so cruel? I took a breath. I have one more thing to show you. I pulled up the screenshots. The texts. Dated 14 months ago. Once he's gone, she'll have plenty. Dated March 15th, the day he was in the ICU. This might be a blessing in disguise for the wedding fund. I turned the laptop so they could all see. My sister's face drained of color. Her fiancé stared at her. My dad reached for the laptop. Marcus's voice cut through. Don't touch it. I closed the screen, looked at my parents. I'm starting a foundation in my husband's name. $100,000. Scholarships for kids who lost a parent. My dad stood. You can't do this. I already did. The attorney spoke again. If you contact her again about money, we will file for a restraining order. This meeting is over. I stood, picked up my bag, walked to the door. I didn't wait for a response. I was done waiting. 2 days later, my mom left a voicemail. We may have said things in the heat of the moment. We're all under a lot of stress. No apology. No acknowledgement of the texts. Just an opening for me to fold. I deleted it. I didn't respond. 4 months later, my sister got married. A cousin went and told me about it afterward. Backyard ceremony. 50 guests. Simple and quiet. She said it was nice. I wasn't invited. I didn't expect to be. The extended family started asking questions. An aunt reached out. What's the full story? I forwarded her the attorney's summary and the screenshots. No commentary. Just facts. 3 relatives apologized. The rest went quiet. I was fine with that. The foundation took 6 months to get nonprofit status. We awarded our first scholarship in November. $15,000 to a 17-year-old girl who'd lost her dad. The ceremony was at the public library. My husband's photo was on the wall behind the podium. I didn't cry. I smiled. That's what he would have wanted. I started therapy, a grief group for young widows. It helped. I planted a small garden in the backyard. Rosemary, thyme, basil. His favorites. I write him letters sometimes. In a journal, telling him about the foundation, the people we've helped, thanking him for seeing what I couldn't. 1 year after the funeral, my parents sent a Christmas card. Generic, unsigned, no note. I put it in the recycling. I didn't feel guilty. That was new. I didn't get an apology. I didn't need one. I got my life back. Grief makes you vulnerable, but boundaries make you whole. You can love people from a distance and still honor the one you lost. I learned that the hard way, but I learned it. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to choose between family loyalty and your own survival? What boundary did you set or wish you had? Drop your story in the comments. This community sees you. And if this story resonated, hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started. You're not alone. One last thing. This is a fictionalized dramatization for storytelling purposes. It is not legal or financial advice. If you're in a similar situation, please consult a licensed professional. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here.